welcome to the deep dive. Today we are wrestling with a concept that used to be strictly the domain of philosophy, maybe late-night dorm room chats.
Right, simulation theory.
Exactly. The possibility that our existence is, well, a simulation. But what's critical for our mission today is this. Our source material shows this isn't just a thought experiment anymore.
No, not at all. It seems to be a profound global catalyst. It's driving real innovation.
Across pretty much every sector, it looks like.
That's what we found. We dove into a stack of research, and the authors themselves talk about shockwaves.
Shockwaves. That sounds dramatic.
It is, spreading across technology, governance, even athletic training, and social unity.
Wow.
And the point isn't really proving or disproving the theory itself.
Right, it's more about observing the effect of the idea.
Exactly, observing how the mere acknowledgement of the possibility is fundamentally changing how we approach, real-world problems, real-world innovation.
So, the core mission for us today is clear. We need to extract the how. How is this growing acceptance, this idea of simulation theory, actually translating into tangible advancements right now?
Yeah, how does the philosophical become practical?
Let's maybe treat the concept of simulation not as some kind of cage we're trapped in, but more like a framework, something we can actually engineer within.
An operating system to explore.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the foundation, the technological lens.
Makes sense.
There's an article, Unlocking Reality. It posits a direct link between tech progress and the simulation concept.
Yeah.
It suggests every breakthrough is like peeling back another layer.
More layers of the simulation, yeah. That's the quote.
So if that's the premise, does the source material offer a mechanism? How does that work? Are we looking for glitches in the matrix or something else?
Well, maybe not glitches exactly. The sources lean much more heavily toward understanding the structure.
The underlying code, the math.
Sort of. What's really fascinating is the shift in focus for technology. We aren't just optimizing things anymore.
They're doing something else.
We're searching for the architectural limits of our reality. The idea is when we achieve technological advancements, we're essentially running faster calculations within the program.
Okay.
And that makes the code's own efficiency, its underlying rules, more apparent.
So breakthroughs reveal the system structure. That completely reframes our research agenda, doesn't it?
It really does.
And this seems to lead us directly to something you mentioned, the re-examination of quantum computing. That really stood out to me.
Yes.
For the past decade, we've mainly focused on QC for its speed, right? Running complex algorithms faster than anything else.
That was the main driver, yes. But the sources frame its current research as something, well, deeper. Quantum computing is now being viewed not just for practical speed, but as a potential key. Maybe the key.
Yeah.
To deciphering the simulated nature of our world.
How so? What's the connection?
The reasoning ties back to that idea of efficiency. Think about quantum entanglement.
Spooky action at a distance.
Right, where two particles instantaneously affect each other, no matter the distance, from a simulation perspective. That non-local behavior looks exactly like the kind of efficiency you'd build into a computational system running a massive, optimized simulation.
So entanglement isn't a weird bug in physics.
It's potentially a feature, a sign of the underlying code designed for maximum efficiency. It's like we're searching for algorithmic signatures in the fabric of reality.
Wow. Okay, so the harder we push the limits of computation, the closer we might get to actually confirming the framework of our existence.
That's the implication.
That's a massive philosophical weight for a research field to carry. Billions in investment.
Well, think about the payoff. If it's confirmed, it changes everything. Physics, resource allocation, our place in the universe. It justifies the investment, arguably.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, that makes sense in terms of tech drivers. Now let's pivot sharply. From the lab to the playing field.
Sports and entertainment.
Exactly. Here's where the human element really meets the code, potentially. The sources dedicate a whole section, calling it the game-changer revolution.
Right. And it's about how awareness of potential simulation is redefining peak performance. If reality has computational underpinnings, then human limits. They might just be programmed limits, parameters.
Not absolute biological barriers.
Maybe not. The sources mention a pro golfer who completely changed his training. He started viewing his muscle memory not just as biology, but as, highly efficient, repeatable code.
Oh, so he trains differently.
He trains explicitly to break the physical limits that traditional coaches set. He sees them as parameters he can exploit or even rewrite within the system.
That's a huge psychological shift for an athlete, thinking of yourself as optimizing code.
It is.
But does it actually lead to better performance? Or just, more philosophical golfers?
Yeah.
Is there measurable evidence in the sources?
There is. The measurable gains often come from increased mental acuity and this absolute conviction that performance is more about precision input than just innate talent.
Making it more deterministic.
Exactly. And therefore, more trainable. They're treating their bodies like highly sophisticated machines needing optimized inputs, fine-tuning the code.
Okay, that's the athletes. But the change goes beyond them, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned fan engagement being reshaped.
Dramatically. The days of just passively watching seem to be numbered, according to this.
So what's replacing it?
The core innovation is blending real-world data with virtual immersion. We're apparently moving toward a fan experience where you can interact in real time with simulations of your favorite athletes.
It's not just a video game character, but a simulation based on the real person.
A hyper-realistic simulation, how that player would perform under slightly different conditions, maybe based on live data feeds?
Whoa! So fans could, predict outcomes, or even subtly influence things through complex inputs.
That seems to be the direction, precisely. And this fundamentally alters community involvement.
How so?
It moves the audience from being passive consumers to feeling more like co-creators of the competitive story, the narrative.
I can see the appeal.
And for teams, it's a marketing goldmine, fostering deeper, stickier connections that blur the line between the physical stadium and the virtual platform.
The whole sports economy gets recalibrated around this interactive duality.
That's the argument.
Okay, that merging of individual performance and collective experience, it naturally pushes us toward the societal scale.
Right.
Let's talk about this concept highlighted in the sources, unity in the age of simulation. Now, given all the political fractures, the digital divides we see, how can the idea of simulation possibly foster unity? Seems like it would do the opposite.
It does seem beautifully ironic, doesn't it? But the analysis suggests the simulation theory acts as a kind of common thread.
The common thread.
How? It connects diverse, often opposing groups. The realization, or even just the consideration, that everyone, regardless of background, status, belief system, is basically participating in the same grand experiment called life. It potentially diminishes those smaller-scale, localized divisions. It encourages people to look past superficial differences.
Because we're all in the same simulated boat.
Something like that, focusing instead on the shared, fundamental, existential context.
That's certainly a hopeful analysis, maybe surprisingly optimistic.
It is.
But, okay, if the theory fosters such deep unity, why would we still need policy or governance? Doesn't the idea that our world might be constructed risk leading to, apathy?
Philosophical apathy. Fatalism.
Yeah. Why fight for material progress if the materials aren't even real in the way we thought? Why bother with earthly policy?
That is the critical counterargument, and the sources tackle it directly.
Okay.
The realization of the system, if that's what it is, doesn't negate the need for rules. It just requires new rules. Rules for the system we perceive ourselves to be in.
Ah, okay. So it's not no rules, it's different rules.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of a political renaissance comes in. The idea is that global leaders are starting to realize they're operating within a shared, maybe engineered environment.
And what does that mean for policy? A shared environment.
It could signify a major shift, moving toward collective well-being rather than purely fragmented national interests, especially when it comes to technological ethics.
Technological ethics.
Yes. The biggest emerging frontier isn't just national law anymore. It might be global computational law.
Computational law.
We're seeing the beginnings of policies focused specifically on digital rights and moral responsibilities regarding technology.
Hang on. Digital rights, what does that actually mean in this context? Are we talking rights for reality itself?
In a way, yes, we are. The sources introduced this idea of computational ethics.
Okay.
Policy aimed at ensuring things like, the right to computational transparency.
Well,
Meaning, potentially, the right to verify our perceived reality, the right to non-manipulation within the system, ethical guidelines for developing AI that might, perpetuate or enhance the simulation,
so governance shifts from just managing human behavior.
to managing the rules of existence itself, especially as technology advances and potentially interacts with that existence on a fundamental level.
That sounds like a complete overhaul. We could be on the brink of completely rethinking global lawmaking.
It's a profound implication, definitely.
Okay, let's take this huge, groundbreaking transformation and bring it back to the individual level. How are people actually processing this? Emotionally, psychologically, knowing the foundation of their lives might just be Code.
You might expect panic, right? Or maybe withdrawal, nihilism, like you said.
Yeah, something like that.
But the sources, surprisingly, paint a more positive picture generally. The psychological implications are vast, yes, but they seem to invite a widespread existential
A
reevaluation.
reevaluation. How?
It seems to act as a moment of profound clarity for many. If the mundane details, the daily grind, are just part of the programming.
Then what really matters?
Exactly. It encourages introspection on what is genuinely important, what has real value in the face of this potential change.
So prioritizing maybe real connections over computational noise.
That's the idea. And the result often seems positive, fostering deeper, more meaningful human connections, a greater understanding of our collective existence, ironically.
So the simulation theory, paradoxically, makes us more human.
By demanding we consciously choose what we value most within the perceived structure. It's a moment of deep introspection that seems to be accelerating personal growth alongside all this technological and political change.
Wow. Okay. So let's try to sum this up. What does this all mean? We've touched on this monumental, truly groundbreaking transformation happening pretty much everywhere.
Simultaneously, yeah, across tech, governance, sports, personal connection.
And the key takeaway seems to be that this realization, the simulation concept, it isn't a deterrent. It's not making us give up.
Quite the opposite. It seems to be an accelerant for innovation, for rethinking policy, maybe even for connection.
A unifying force, almost.
Almost, yeah. And looking forward, the sources hint that the deepest area of curiosity now revolves around commerce, business.
How so?
Well, if consumer behavior is increasingly understood as basically a set of programmable inputs and outputs, how will businesses innovate? How do they engage consumers ethically?
Especially given these new ideas about digital rights and computational ethics we talked about.
Exactly. It's going to be really intriguing to watch how commerce responds when the line between, say, marketing and manipulation becomes a genuine policy issue grounded in these new ethics.
It definitely opens up the whole definition of ethical business practice, making it about the very nature of reality itself.
The path we take now really could define the framework of this newly acknowledged reality.
Absolutely. So for you, the listener, here's a provocative thought to mull over based on everything we've just covered. If this realization of simulation theory truly leads to establishing computational ethics policies focused on digital rights, transparency, non-manipulation, how fundamentally will these new ethics reshape the relationship between your behavior as a consumer and business innovation in the coming era?
Something to think about.
Keep questioning, keep exploring.